don't care.
Do I dare show you my high noon?
I hope it's phrasing. I feel like Joan's, whenever I see this picture of Joan, I feel like she belongs in Texas. Because she's got that like big Texas hair. Look at it, Mariah. Go look at it before she turns it on and like flips me off. Oh no, she's moving all over. The box is moving ever. Did you find her? It's the one with the red shirt with like she's got like big Texas hair. Hey, there's the man.
She's closer to God that way.
What's going on?
How are you?
Good. I was just thinking about you the other day.
I know. I miss you guys.
Are we gonna go on vacation together though? Cause
I'm not gonna go the same time as like it was scheduled.
no, we didn't know when we were gonna go. We took the voucher though.
I did the voucher too. I would rather go like winter. I said did you do Unico or Hard Rock?
Unico.
I was like, if I did Hard Rock, because I didn't really care for Hard Rock, but if we had Hard Rock, I'm like, I would just bring the kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, sorry. So I'm thinking like winter when it's cold as balls, like tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Because at first we were like, oh, let's go like more towards like spring, summer. I'm like, but then you're like wasting, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't freaking know. We'll see. But yeah, let's plan to go all together. That'd be fun.
Yes.
Is Michelle on?
Hi, I'm here.
Hi. Wait, you're like you messed me with the color of the hair.
Oh, I know.
That's what I was looking for.
I was my upline's Ashley Feldison, so I was in her wedding and she made me dye my hair back blonde. She was like, I love you. And you're my best friend.
Know, like with how classic that was, your hair would have been like boom.
I know. It would have been really bad. So here we are.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, so I am super low key, but I think your title that we gave you was one of those things that caught everyone off guard, and everyone was like, wait, she was canceling and then she went elite, like what happened? And I'm sure you've heard that being your like go-to title now for like ever. But I think so this is a group, there's 4 of us leaders that are on here that we all kind of collaborated together and created this group. And this is just a bunch of badass men and women who are ready to just level up their business and obviously have their eyes on the prize. And what we really wanted is to show them what is possible from not just someone who's been in the business for a minute, but someone who literally made one decision and everything else changed. And I think your story can really hit a lot of people in that might be going through that doubt phase and comparison phase or anything else that you can show exactly what you did. And so I'm stoked. Like I'm amped to hear this. I think this is going to be absolutely incredible. So Chris, you are recording, yes? Okay. All right, I'm just going to hand it right over to you and just like do your thing, girl.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, my outfit, it was like hot up here. And then here's the biggest thing too, that you guys will learn, that if you are being yourself, it's so much more fun in this business as well. I used to like come on and makeup, and don't get me wrong, I can look like a dime piece, but I can also look homeless. So I like usually like put multiple different clothings together and I look ridiculous. So this is literally me showing up as my authentic self for you tonight. Chris's people, I'm sorry that you have to listen to me speak again, because I know some of you guys have heard my story before, but maybe if you didn't really listen last time, maybe you're going to listen this time, and this is what will help you propel your business. So my name is Michelle Cahill. I have been coaching for a little bit over 3 years. Before coaching, my life could not look any more different than it does today. I was almost 45 pounds heavier than you see me. I was a registered nurse working 50 to 60 hours. I was transitioning from an overnight hospital position in the operating room, and I was transitioning to home care. I was in a very toxic relationship, for better terms, and I distinctly remember like coming home after a night shift, and I would take a Coors Light out of the refrigerator and I would drink it in the shower, because that's how us nurses cope with, you know, death and dying and a shit show of a job. And many of you maybe were scrolling social media and you seen your coach make a post just like I did. And so I had seen Ashley make a post about how she was working out in her basement, like taking sweaty selfies, getting paid to do it. And I was like, I've always been a gym rat. I love the gym. Working out was never the hard piece for me, but it was nutrition. And I would love to go to GNC and buy all these supplements. And I was like, I wish that I could get paid to take sweaty selfies and like use supplements and like be a stay-at-home dog mom. And that's what I posted on Facebook. And by the grace of God, she seen my post. And I was legit a cold invite. I don't know how we became friends on Facebook. I have no idea. But she seen my post and she reached out to me and she said, girlfriend, I literally LOL'd at your post. There's a little bit more involved into coaching, but like you could totally do it. And I was like, well, like sweating on my own carpet really grossed me out. Hence why I have a horse mat behind me still to this day. And I was just like, I don't really know what this Beachbody thing is. I actually was buying Shakeology on eBay. I had no idea that it had anything to do with Beachbody. I didn't know that correlated. A girl from a women's gym and I that I worked with, she found it through a friend on eBay and she was buying it at the coach price. So when I realized what it was, I was like, I don't know, like working out at home. I ghosted her. Literally the next day, a girl from work texted me and said, I seen your post on Facebook. I'm going to lunch with this girl, Ashley. I'm going to sign up to be a Beachbody coach. I think you'd be really good at it. And I was like, all right, like the 45-pound heavier Michelle, addicted to margaritas, was like, okay, your girl will be at lunch. So I went to lunch and Ashley at that time, 3 years ago, you guys, was barely a diamond coach. And she just breathed this belief that she was going to be this 15-star diamond and she was going to be in this millionaire club and like all this stuff. I didn't care what she was like having me sign up with. She could have told me I had to sell dirt and I would have been like, yeah, okay, sounds good. And I went home and I signed up that night. I started with 21 Day Fix, and that first week, I said, okay, I'm going all in. I'm going to follow a nutrition program. Ashley told me to buy this stupid personal development book. I don't even know what that is, but I'm going to read it. She told me to. And then she told me that I'm going to like recognize myself and all these other people. And she told me to make my own group. I don't know why. I didn't sign, like, I didn't know I was like, this is what coaching was. No clue. And so I'm like, okay, like basically the 4 vital behaviors. So I started doing that. And within the first week, I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like, this is fun. I had my mom and my sister in my Facebook group. That was it. But I had a good time. And so that Tuesday, she's like, hey, I'd love to like hang out and work together. Do you want to hang out? And I'm like, I have to work. Like, Ash, I can't come and go to the coffee shop. And she's like, oh, that's the best part about having freedom of time. And I was like, what would I have to do in order to like do what you do? And she's like, those 4 things, but like times 10. And I was like, oh, that's easy. I can do that. That's easy. I'm a nurse. That's fine. So over those 21 days, I fully committed. I made the decision to do all of those 4 things, and not just like a little bit, but I 10x'd all of them. I lost 10 pounds within my first, 21 days. I think I hit Success Club 20 that my first month. And I remember it was a Tuesday. I collapsed to the ground after 21 Day Fix, and I started bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, Michelle, is this the rest of your life? Are you going to stay in this toxic marriage because you're scared of what other people are going to think of you? Are you going to stay working as a nurse where they are so underappreciative of the hard work that you put into it? And that next day I called my best friend. She helped me move out of my house, and I left my marriage and I moved into an apartment within 12 hours. I didn't tell my friends. I didn't tell my family. Nobody knew that I was going to start this like divorce process. I didn't know what was involved. And so that's how my coaching career was started. So I was waking up at 4:00 in the morning before I went to work as a nurse at 8 a.m. And I was sending, and Chris and I's team talked a little bit about this, and we can go into this afterwards with questions and stuff, but my business looks a little differently how I do things. But I would send 150 invites. I cold messaged anybody and everybody because, well, I was a cold message, and I was like, well, shit, I want to find another Michelle. Like, I don't care. I probably spammed people way too much. And on Instagram, I barely had 700 followers. We didn't have selfie lights 3 years ago. Like, it was a hot mess, but I was enjoying it. I was listening to personal development, checking in on my few people in the challenge group that was showing up. I didn't have any working coaches, but Ash had painted this picture of freedom, time freedom, freedom to show up as who you want, freedom to dress how you want, act how you want, talk how you want. And I craved that. So that was in August of 2017, I signed up. Through January of 2018, I slayed my business, diamond. And then that's when Ash was really like, wow, you know, I need to start like teaching my coaches like 1-star and all of the things. That's when she started qualifying for 5-star in January, when she started signing up some incredible like unicorn coaches in this business. And instead of, I never knew who top coaches were. Like, I didn't know who existed. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought that I was like the best. Like, to me, I seen myself on the leaderboard and I thought that I was the best. Then I started seeing the other teammates of mine surpass me a little bit. And instead of looking at them and being like, damn, like, hell yes, like, how can we work together in order to make our entire team volume insane? I looked at them with jealousy and with hatred and started playing that awful compare game. And literally to the point where Ashley had hung up on me multiple times because I was just so negative and so pissed at their success. And it had nothing to do with me, and mine had nothing to do with them. And so instead of continuing those 4 simple things and 10xing them, I stopped doing them. I kind of sort of sent invites sometimes. I kind of sort of was waking up early before I went to work as a nurse. I was kind of sort of following a nutrition program. I was kind of sort of doing the workouts, doing like 10 reps instead of 15. And my results ended up suffering from that. My mental confidence suffered from that. I gained, at that point, I had lost like 30 pounds. I had gained almost 15 back. And so from January of 2018 to June 2018, I half-assed this business, point blank, period. And that's what I did, kind of sort of did anything. And in June, I ended up taking a travel nurse position, and I moved in with the second discount coach that I ever signed up. And from June till August, I continued to have my thumb up my butt and complain and naysay and never show up on team calls, and then watch the recording secretly and just like be so mad that all of the other leaders were being together. And it's so embarrassing for me to even think that I did that, but I was truly suffering again. I fell back into that spot of who the Michelle was when I signed up. And I started looking at this business as something extra on my plate, when before this was my outlet. When I needed friends that would help me through a divorce, my team was there. And instead of leaning into them, I totally pulled away. So in August of 2018, I thought, you know, this isn't for me. I see so-and-so's another effing star diamond. I swear to God, I couldn't stand it, you know? And you're like, what am I doing wrong? I'm never going to be successful. So I pulled it up, and my roommate and I would go to the gym in the complex and we'd work out together. I still was drinking my shake every day, but still, again, half-assing everything. And I looked at her and I said, Tabitha, this isn't for me. I'm going to go be a personal trainer. I'm going to start my own app. And by the way, it's so expensive to do any of that. And so I was looking at all this stuff, and she's like, you know, whoa, what do you mean you're going to turn in your coach cancellation form? And I was like, I'm never going to be successful. I'm cooler than these other people that are successful. And how is this supposed to work? And she's like, please don't quit yet. Don't. And I'm like, fine. So we were in her sister-in-law to be's wedding on September 2nd, 2018. And she's like, let's go to this wedding, see what happens. Then we'll come back home and then you can decide. And I was like, okay. You know, and to that time, you guys, I was going through my divorce, things that if I was running a multiple 6-figure business, there was no way. It's so funny to look back. I needed to be that Michelle in order to show up as the Michelle you see today. And so went to this wedding, and I met my now incredible boyfriend. I had been, single for over a year at that point. And he had actually lost 115 pounds at home just by portion control, had no idea what Beachbody was. His mom told him about me, that I was like this girl that was cute and liked this at-home workout thing. And him and I like had this commonality of fitness, health, nutrition, and how it saved us from really bad things in our lives. And so he's like, geez, you sound like you'd be really like, you could be a top coach. And I like laughed and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And at that time, it wasn't that he breathed belief into me. It was that I still had this like flame that was like, yo, bitch, you could do this. And instead of me acting on that, I was like, oh no, I can't do it. Nope, it's not going to happen. So from September to January, I continued to sit on my thumb and kind of sort of do the things. In January of 2019 is when I drew that line in the sand with my business. Ashley was hosting a diamond retreat and I had to get back to diamond to get there. So funny how when you actually grab the steering wheel in your business and you're a fallen whatever, and all of a sudden you like, oh, so-and-so would sign up, so-and-so would sign up. I got myself back to diamond in a week, okay? So I could go on this trip. And I go on this trip and Brittany Leggett is there and I pulled her to the side and I said, Brittany, I make well over 6 figures with my travel position, but I'm miserable. It's literally given me nothing. Making money, like a 6-figure income is nothing besides a 6-figure income and a bunch of Lululemon matching outfits. Like I am not mentally stable. Like I want pure happiness in my heart. Like I want to wake up with purpose. I don't have that. And she used to be a nurse and she's like, Michelle, I was barely making $300 a week when I quit my job as a nurse. I put my back up against the wall. You're complacent with your life. You need to do the same. And I said, okay, the next time you see me, I will not be just a diamond coach. And she's like, okay. And she gave me a big hug and she walked away. And I looked to my teammate and I was like, to Lauren, and I'm like, why the actual F did I just tell the queen, Brittany Leggett, that I would not be a diamond coach the next time I see her? Like, why did I do that? And I'm like, oh my God, shit, I have so much work to do. Like I'm stressing that, okay, the next time I see her is going to be Summit. So I came home from the retreat and I looked at Tabitha and I said, I'm done. I'm done half-assing this business. I'm done not sending invites. I'm done not reading personal development. I'm done not listening to trainings to help teach me the things that I need to be taught. I'm done not following a nutrition program. And I always would come on to social media and say like, oh, here's my, my salad with my green container and my red container and my perfect slice of cheese, like perfect whatever. And then the second I came off of social media, I was like, wine, glug, 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 glug. And I had gained about 20 pounds back. Like people knew I was bullshitting them. They knew I was lying. And so I told Tabitha, I need you to help hold me accountable. The gym, our challenge group, you showing up, like I need this. I'm going to quit my nursing job in April of 2019. And she was like, all right, you got a lot of work to do. And so I went to work. I apologized to my Instagram following and I admitted that I've been lying because of, not being humble. My pride is too big. I was jealous. I probably said again, way too much, but I was being honest. And so I said, I promise I will be a coach that will never do this to you again. I'm waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning before I go to my shift at 8, and you can count on me. And I had to rebuild trust from the ground up again. And, it was hard. There were days that I was just like crying in bed, like, this is never going to work, but like, keep going. I think that you can do this. Like, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And then all of a sudden it was like a challenge pack. All right. I know I can. I know I can. I know I can. And from January to April, I started Star Qualification with Tabitha. Actually, one day I came home and she said, Jared and I need to talk to you. And I thought they were going to kick me out of their apartment because I was making shakes at 5 o'clock in the morning for Time Nutrition. And it was it wasn't that. They said, we've seen you at your worst. And now we've seen you flourish into literally a completely different human being in a month. And we want to do this business with you, both of them. And they are entrepreneurs. So like they just got the model and everything. And they started working this business with me. We woke up at 5 a.m. together. We sent invites together. We did our workouts together. And in April of 2018, I did leave my job as a nurse. And I will say, like, I was matching my income before 6 figures. I was making about $250 a week in 2019, you guys. I had to cancel all of my subscriptions. FabFitFunBox was no longer a thing. Netflix was out the door. Random Target trips were done for. Like, I literally donated my clothes to get money for them. There were months where I had to like save cans and bring them to the store to make ends meet. But if there is a will, there is a way. And that was when I put my back up against the wall and it was all in. And at that time, actually in January, another curveball came into my life and Derek's. We found out that he had an 11-month-old son that he never knew that he had. And he's been such a blessing. I know every twist of events. I talked on Chris's call when I talked last time. The girl got Ancestry.com real quick. Got Ancestry.com, found out that her son and the baby daddy originally was not related. And then it was Derek's. So
I'm going to like privately DM you and I need to know like everything.
yeah,
Like,
it's juicy. And actually it's the best co-parenting relationship ever. She is a coach. She totally supports me with this business. A huge reason why the success took off in 2019 was we found out that he has autism. And so we need him to be a contributing citizen to this world. So that is a huge reason why Derek wants to go full time with me and Brittany, and we do this business together. So throw that curveball in along with then putting my back up against the wall and having no money. But I had, again, that belief that Ashley had when I first signed up, the belief that attracted me to this business in the first place. And so from April, we hit 1 star, went to Summit, walked the stage, couldn't find Brittany Leggett throughout the sea of people, came home from Summit. And I was like, really, this is how I'm going to end 2019? Like, it's kind of boring. Like, I want to do something else. And I'm like, babe, like, how do we get your account to Diamond? Can't we like, does your aunt want to have Shakeology? Like, will she sign up? Like, will your friends at work sign up? Will your mom, your dad, your brother, our sister-in-law? Like, and I got his account to Diamond in a week because of taking control of who can I invite in my inner circle that can just be a placeholder until I get those people there. And so we started Star Qualification, and then I met a 2% girl on the internet who was another burnout nurse who wanted to she came from Outwork or something, came to my team, hit Diamond. We started 3-star qual. And then in September, we were officially premier 3-star. And that was in 2019, August. In October, Ashley brought me, and I'm almost done, and then we can ask questions or whatever. But in October of 2019, Ashley brought me to leadership in Arizona. And I seen Brittany, and, I said, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but she was like, girl, I've seen you on Facebook. I've seen you, like, what are you doing? Like, I am so proud of you. And it felt so good. Like, it's so good, number one, to like show somebody like, I freaking did it. I told you I was going to do it and I did it. But in that, like, seeing her, I almost could see myself in me and her, like, wow, I can do this. I know that I will be successful. And so at the bar, Barbie and I were talking, shocking. And she's like, girl, what? Your story's insane. You have to go for 5-star. You have to try to push and hit 5-star. And I'm like, well, I don't know how, but like, I'll figure it out. And I left there and I'm like, well, shit, I have a lot of work to do again. And so I figured out, how do I hit elite? What am I supposed to do? And I rallied my girls together. I stayed up to the last day of qualification, and I stayed up till like 12:15. I came on Instagram and I said, I just wanted to show you that I will be a coach that wakes up early. I will be a coach that stays up late. I will never desert you. I will meet you where you at, and I will help you build, this business to be whatever you want it to be. And so that's how I came into 2020. Some old coaches ended up re-signing up, and then we hit 5-star elite, I think like in June or July or something. And then we ended the year at 173 in the company. So I just want you guys to know that nobody's special. Like, I'm not special. Your upline, we're just normal people. Like, we put our pants on one freaking foot at a time. It's not that you are incapable of being successful. What it's going to take you to be successful is you doing the work. We all do the same shit all day long. And that's why I don't understand why more people aren't successful, because there really isn't a secret. Like, everybody always wants to know, like, there's got to be something that they're doing that they're really not telling us. No, because I believe if you don't give freely, you're never going to get, like in anything in your life. I will tell you anything that I do, I'm not holding anything back, and neither is your upline. And like I've said before in many calls, I personally do not believe that this job is hard. Being a coach is not hard. I think of Chris's position before being a full-time coach as a police officer, me being a nurse. We as coaches, I can hire an assistant, to send my emails quick or send some invites for me. Derek, helps me do my invites and all of the things, right? Like, I can teach somebody else to be a coach. I can't have Christina come to work for me as a nurse and pass meds and do dose calcs and hang medications, right? You can't hire that out. This job isn't hard. You going to work on your 6th 12-hour night shift, it's 3 a.m., you're tired as all hell. You read a med wrong, the dose, you put it in wrong, you give it to your patient, they die. That's hard. You doing CPR on a 3-day-old baby, they die. That's a hard job. You possibly getting shot while you're out, representing our country like Chris did as a police officer and doing that job, that's a hard job, you guys. You waking up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m., sending your iPhone, coming over to your personal development chair, turning on the light, grabbing your, cozy blanket, your personal development book, cozying up and fueling your brain with all the positivity and sending a couple invites. That's so easy. But we literally walk around all day like, holy shit, I have so much to do. I'm so overwhelmed. What am I going to do today? Why am I not successful? So-and-so ghosted me. I'm pissed. I'm done. Like, that's literally what I used to do. And you laugh because you've done it, right? We've all done it. And maybe you're doing it right now. So I just want to challenge you to keep this business simple, right? Don't overcomplicate it. Who cares about graphics? Google that stuff. Like, make it fun, because if you aren't having fun in this business, you're doing it wrong, right? Like, I get out of my bed every day. I wake up at 5 a.m. with my clients because they love it. And it shows that, I'm not just raking in all of this money and while they do whatever. I wake up with a purpose. I didn't have that anymore as a nurse. And I'm hoping that, all of you guys on here, if you love your job, that's awesome. But I'm really speaking to the people that want to do this full time. You're so capable. The reason why I hit elite and maybe you didn't, I outworked you. Why Christina hit elite and you didn't, she outworked you. Why Christina is in the top of the network, she outworked me, right? I have this in front of my face since I quit. Are you going to let someone outwork you? I remember I watched something with Haley Christian. This is the last thing I'm going to say and open up for questions. But Haley Christian was like, don't be a bitch, hit send. If you don't invite that girl, I'm going to invite her. And then she's going to be on my team. And now we're actually in like a slay squad type of thing together. And I'm like, how funny that I was like, I am not letting Haley Christian, okay, invite the people that are on my tribe. I am not letting that happen. So I had to match the top coach effort of work. And that's all that this business is. Energy, effort. Energy, excitement, effort. That's it. So I'm going to see if you guys have any questions. If you need the link to a paternity test, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I'm obsessed with you. That was so good. And I feel like it's such, I mean, you had so many different relatability pieces, but like the gut punches in there of just your story. And it's not just like, oh, go do this. This is like how I did it. Like, this is what I'm like, walking the walk and talking the talk, which I'm freaking like love. I love how you said that this isn't extra on top, because I feel like a lot of times, especially when you're not successful out the gate, or even you're only quote unquote making $200 a week, $200 a month. And so you think that all this is extra because you're not getting what you think that you should receive or whatever. So I love that you found that joy and happiness within this. So it wasn't that extra on top. It was just who you were and what you were trying to get after. And then the 4 vitals, 10X, and keeping it simple. So many times everyone's complicating everything. And I love how you just said, I just had to go back to the 4 vitals and 10X them. Like, it wasn't about the graphics. It wasn't about any of those things. So, and then where's the other thing I had? The Brittany Leggett, speaking your goals out into existence. And I pressured these guys today, and I was like, reach out to your upline and be like, how can I help the team? Because just like you saying that to Brittany, you're okay with failing yourself because you've done that and you've wanted to quit and this, that, and the other, but putting that out and that pressure that like, she comes and asks you something and you're like, oh, like, it's so awkward to be like, I'm still trying. And like, my person is Kim Carver, who like, I did kind of similar to you. I went up to him, and I don't do this to like anyone because I'm just not this type of a human. And I was like, next time you see me. And then I walked away. I was like, who the fuck did I just become? Why did I just say that? Like, ew, like that was so like dumb. And I was like, I hope no one overheard me. That was such a brown nose like situation. And now he's that person that he'll like slide into my DMs and be like, where are you at? And like told me like, I think it was a year and a half ago, he was like, you're grossly under something like your potential. And I was like, oh man, like that was mean, but also like fired me up to like, just wait till our next conversation. So I think that's really important. And I feel like a lot of coaches, because you don't want to put it out there and you don't want to tell anybody your goals because you're not willing to work for it. It's not because you think you're going to fail. It's not because you might fail. It's just because you're not willing to like pitbull that goal, clinch that like jaw, and like make that shit happen. So I love that. You were amazing. I have a lot of questions about a lot of different things, but I'll save the personal ones for like if you think that I'm like joking that I'm gonna slide into your DMs and be like, I want details, like the raw, like I want it all, like day one on, like love this shit. What questions you guys have? Chris knows that awkward silence like crushes my soul. So someone have the balls to unmute and ask a question, because this is one of those that you guys got to have questions. I'll go as far as like, we've been obviously going hard with inviting, and it's interesting you saying cold inviting. Can you just explain, and this is the most annoying question I know, but I have to ask before somebody else does, where you're looking for the cold invites, and are you like connecting, or are you just straight up like, girl, let's go?
Right. So in the beginning, I was inviting anybody that followed me, because back then, like, stories weren't really a thing 3 years ago. That was still pretty new, and you definitely couldn't see who was who was watching your stories 3 years ago. So now, obviously, we have this. So 2 new things that I've been doing that I learned from Carrie Schneider, I give, I'm going to give the pride or whatever that word is called to who I've learned this from. But I would always invite people from my stories, but I always was sending them a message right off the rip. And sometimes that did work, but something that I tweaked a little bit was just thanking them for watching my journey. Like, hey, I see you. I want you to know that I appreciate you like watching my stories. And then I make sure that I'm following them. And so I go through and I track everybody that is new, and then I write them down in a notebook. And from there, I will follow up with them a week later. I like to do follow-ups on Fridays because it's just easier to remember, and that usually people get paid on Fridays. So I will follow up with an invite on that week later. Hey, I still see you like watching. Do you have any questions? I'd love to have you like train with me in the new year. And then there's that. So anybody that's watching my stories on Instagram, and then I literally forgot about Facebook because I don't know, everyone's so consumed with Instagram. So I went from like 2 months ago, I was barely having like 5 people watch my stories on Facebook, to now there's almost 300 just by going and connecting on Facebook. So doing the AB method on Facebook. So typing in A, and then love bombing all of my friends that are in A, and then AB, doing that, and then setting a timer. If you don't set a timer, then you can't really gauge how much, you need to be tracking the time that you're able. It's more focused anyways. And then I do 25 minutes at a time for these pieces. And then I allow myself 5 minutes, and I usually go to the bathroom, get a drink, dance, play music. I love hip hop dance. I used to compete in dance. Like, I love dancing. That like brings my vibration up. That's why if I do get a mean message, I'm like, no problem, report for abuse or pornography, and I'm keeping it moving, like legit. It's like, and so that's how I go through my day, because the more you invite, the more no's and ghosted you will be. But that's okay, because eventually, if you don't get blocked and reported, you will come back. So what I've been doing now is, even 2 days later, I had Nikita, who went from Emerald to, she's in 15 Star Qualification right now. She's from Canada. She's the number 10 coach. She's like amazing. She was like, oh, if you watch my stories, I'm messaging you like almost every 2 days. And she has, all of her diamonds are from challengers, straight up. And so I'm like, so what do you say? Like, hey, I see you creeping. You trying to sign up or what? And she was like, yeah, say it however you talk. Like, yep, do that. So I did that today. Oh my God, people that have ghosted me for 3 years, you guys, finally, some of them were like, you're right, I am a creeper. Like, oh, I'm like debating. Can you actually even tell me more information? Right? So it's calling people out on their stuff. I think that we don't do that enough. We're kind of like, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested. Of course they're interested. They're watching your stories. So I do that for my Instagram and for my Facebook. I do that. So those are like my connecting, or my inviting, my cold-ish, but really not cold invites. And then anybody that's new, I make sure that I follow them, and then I like at least 3 pictures, and then comment on 1 to 2 photos genuinely. And just, if I feel like they could be a coach on my team, I save them to a collection that says potential coaches, and it's kind of like manifesting at the same time. And then I go back through and I love bomb those people that I would love to be a challenger first and then a coach. Because I have had a newer coach just recently, a nurse who's into fitness, but she's never done Beachbody ever. And getting her to believe in the programs and products has been a headache. And one of the girls in the roundtable was saying that 98% of coaches come from challenge groups. 2% sign up for the business opportunity right off the rip. So why are we so focused on like inviting to coaching, which yes, that's important, but why are we not inviting our challengers? Like, why are we not giving them the best experience to them want to say, well, shit, I do what Michelle does. I want to sign up. So that has been my focus the last 3 months, is like really heavy into my challenge group. Yeah, that was a really long answer. A couple of questions in between. I don't know.
No, I love that. And I love that idea of saving people into collections. So then that like reminds you to go back through them. And it's kind of cool to see all of them and be like, this could be my future squad. And even that's a way that you can even message them and be like, dude, I'm going to be like straight up real with you right now. You're in a collection because I see you in XYZ. And it's like, oh, really? No, maybe. And it like gets them in their feels. As far as how you're saying how you do most of the people from challenge groups, and you're just like, I'm guessing, just inviting them through there, like, girl, why are you not doing this with me? Let's go.
Yep, it's literally like, hey, I see you watching my stories. I would love to have you train with me this new year. Would you want me to send over some information for you to look at the group?
And then in your challenge groups, are you kind of inviting the same way into coaching where you're like, dude, like you're crushing it in the challenge group, you need to level this up and coach.
Yep. And I either email them, or if they have their phone number in the back office, I text them. One big thing that I changed that I know eventually I'm going to have to just get another phone, and which is fine. But I feel so connected like with texting, like that's so personal to me, and to show people like I'm a real human. So I've seen some people in the round table use like texting services and stuff. I have to like, when I make time to do that, I'll look into that. But I love iPhones. Like I love iPhone messages and all of the things and talking. And so I offer an exclusive iPhone text thread with me. And it is with my personal phone number. I have them muted. And then I have my best friend who's a discount coach who she'll never coach. She'll eventually be my assistant. But I'm like, Christy, can you go in the new group and say like, I just did my workout, I'm so excited. And she's like my hype girl for each of those challenge groups. Eventually I'm going to have to start paying her for this, but like, it's cool. It's so awesome. Like they love the text thread, the iPhone text thread. People are obsessed. I've never had so many people show up. So I have a 9-week control freak one, a regular one that you get put into, and obviously it caps at like 30 people or whatever. And then I just make new ones as they get capped out. And then if nobody shows up, I can look through until bod groups like pulls it together a little bit more. I still use it, but I just really love this texting. I don't know. It's just easier for me to find my groups. It's faster and it saves me time. So that's like what I'm into. I'll eventually have to, if I stick with it, I'll have to get a different phone, keep that number for them, and then just get a new phone number for myself. Then I'll be able to turn it off, which actually that turns me on with that, because that's what I did for nursing. I had 2 different phones. It was the best. So
I'm so interested in that, in the texting.
yeah, like, because some people don't have Facebook, and then
Right, because I've done like a group of like 5 and they got their best results when we were doing that, because we were going back and forth all day. And it's crazy that we can't just do that body groups is a whole shit show in itself, but that it's just a different format, and that's that instant gratification, but it's also that personalization where like it's almost like this exclusive, you feel really cool VIP status, like all each other's phone numbers. And so it just muted, but like once you go in there, isn't it freaking just like blown up?
It's so blown up. But you know what? It really kind of almost trains people to be a coach. Because
right, that's what I mean. I think that's really cool.
It's so easy, and it's just all right there. And I tell the girls, like, I'm going to put you in the exclusive group. Just know that, like, feel free to mute it, or your ass will be woke up at 4 a.m. because that's when the moms start getting up. But a girl from Derek's guy friend at work, his wife just signed up with me. She's never committed to anything more than a day, her husband was saying to Derek, and she's gotten up at 6:30 a.m. the last 3 days. That is what is life-changing, you know? And so seeing those things, I just think that's where I'm like, oh God, there's gonna be so many coaches soon. And I'm just like waiting for them to get all these results from 9-week control freak with the iPhone text thread.
You guys, you have me twisted on this one, because that's also a really good one, because I like my crew is like the queens of FOMO. And for the people who didn't unlock 9-week control freak, and then they know that they can be in a text thread if they do, like they'll do that just to get in a freaking text thread.
Right.
You got me spinning.
Yeah, they love being able to text me. They think it's so cool that I like have your phone number.
Right. Oh my God.
I came up with the idea and it works. It's been working. So I've gotten 3 coaches from it.
Do you notice any pullback then in your group? Like, are those girls not showing up in bod groups?
No. So I made sure. So every day I'm like, hey, don't like, good morning guys, blah, 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 blah. I'm posting here, but I also just posted in the bod group. Don't forget, because I do like a monthly drawing. So yeah, sure, use this exclusive text thread, but in order to win free shit, you have to post in bod.
Dude, this is a game changer. I'm amped. I love, like, and I'm like, so like when I'm one of those people that now, like tonight, I'm gonna be like implementing this and be like, give me your phone numbers. We're doing this. Like, I need this done like yesterday. This is smart.
Mm-hmm. And then I had a girl like the other day, she removed herself. I seen it, messaged her. Hey, I seen you removed yourself. What's going on? She's like, I'm jealous. So funny how you track people. Like, I'm jealous.
Right.
Like the other girls I'm not doing anything. And I'm like, but that's okay. Like, that's the point of being in this, is that you can, it's a gut check every day. Did you do your best? Can you do better tomorrow? She's like, you're right. Put me back in there. Put her back in.
No, that's genius. And it's a good timing because it's like everybody who ordered are finally getting their stuff. So I won't have to deal with, I don't have my track yet. So like add them in now. I love this.
Good.
Oh, okay. Anyone else have questions? Because I just bombarded because none of you were asking any, and I hate that with a raging, ginormous passion. Like there's not like awkward silence kills my soul. Okay, speak now, or we're getting off and we're letting her go to bed. Does anyone have any other questions? I'm zooming through.
Hey, sorry, I was driving. Quick, weird, kind of out there question, but sometimes you have to toss it out there. I have a salon and lash business, and so I'm always afraid I'm going to scare off my clients from over messaging them, because that's the people who I message as well. Like, I message everybody on my Facebook, and I literally have like all of my clients on Facebook. So what is your advice on like not being afraid of also running off my clients because of my everyday business? But like, I'm also trying to make Beachbody a business. So like, weird question, I know.
My biggest thing is you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And if you message your girls and, well, I think I would just say to them, I think I might lie. I think I might say, hey, my assistant might message you sometimes, but like, I'm always waiting for you to join my group. Like, don't like kind of nudge it off, but like, I'd really love for you to join it or something like that. Like, it doesn't have to be, or if you see that it's their page, I would still invite them. It's just like Sydney's, is that her last name? The corporate rep, Sydney, blonde. She looks like a Barbie. She's beautiful. She had a friend that never invited her on Facebook. And Sydney was like, you prejudged my decision. You made that decision for me by not inviting me. So maybe you don't invite them as much as you invite the people that aren't your clients, but let them rip, girlfriend. Can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
I agree. Thank you so much. I've been very blessed to have conversations with them in the salon about it, so they kind of have the heads up already. Sorry, I was driving a minute ago, my camera's off, but thank you so much. I caught half of your call today, and it was great. So I appreciate you. Hi.
Oh, you're so sweet. You're
well,
welcome.
thank you.
Anybody else? I'm like writing up my graphic.
I have a
right
question.
now.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you talked about how you quit your day job, you use the timer when it comes to doing your tracker, so that way you can plot out timing for your activities. Is that what you found to be the most useful thing for you, going from I have a structured day that I know I'm pulling an 8-hour day or a 12-hour day, and you know when you're going to be able to work your Beachbody business in between that? Or how did you adapt to no longer having that structure anymore of your day job?
Yeah, shit got weird when you leave your full-time job and you are like, I have all day. Like, and I
just did in November. I mean, I went independent. I'm a travel agent, and I went independent with my travel business.
Mm-hmm.
I am my own boss, but my boss still needs to work on time management skills, self-described. So,
right. Okay. So my thing, yes, it's timers and getting everything done as soon as possible. So right now I'm reading Miracle Mornings for Network Marketers. I love that book. It's incredible. And for 9-week Control Freak, because I was sleeping in, because I do want to give myself a little bit of that, but then sometimes you let yourself go a little bit too much, which we all have done that when you go full time, and that's okay. Forgive yourself, and here we are today. So for 9 Week Control Freak, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. every single day. And so I wake up at 5 a.m. I do my miracle morning for an hour. I meditate. I love the silence. I sit there, and then right at 6 o'clock, I follow 100 to 200 new people immediately right off the rip, because getting new people on you should be so important. So how I do that, I go to I'm hopefully waiting, to get engaged over here. We've been talking about it, so I think it's happening. But he's like, stop trying to ruin everything. So that tells me that something's happening in the brewing. But so I'm like going to bridal pages, and then going to that girls, and then like following people who are following a local bride place. Then from there, when they accept my friend request, if they're type of girl that I'd love to like go to summit with and room with, then I will follow some of her friends. And those are where I'm finding my 100 to 200 people right off the rip. At that point, I'm in a pretty good headspace. Like I'm in the mirror. I'm not kidding you. You're the baddest bee up in this place. Like you got today. Like I really hype. You have to, because you're by yourself all day long. And like in the mornings, you're like, I got this. By noon, you're like, that's weird. I've gotten a lot of no's. This kind of isn't fun anymore. And by 3, you're like, I'm exhausted. And by 5, you're like, was coaching really a thing for me? Like, what did I do today? Like, can I really do this? You kind of have low self-belief towards the end of the day. So I truly believe that getting the brunt work of your work done in the beginning, before your mind can even know how much you're working and processing, to me is the best thing for me. So 100 to 200 new follows, answering my DMs, sending package informations, checking my emails, and then I go right into thanking people who are watching my stories, or then inviting them to my boot camp. And that's all done by 7:30. I'm pressing play on my workout. So I'm pretty much done with my tracker I'm done with pretty much work by 10. So now I'm like, okay, now if something happens with Peter because of the autism, you never know if he's going to have a bad day at school or whatever, then that gives me leeway to like, oh, if I work more, that's just extra. If I feel like taking a nap, I can. If, I'm going to hustle more, then I can do that as well. So, but setting timers for that, and that's what you stick to no matter what, was the driving force to going from, $250 a week to now being comfortable. And, I'm not a 6-figure earner now, by the way, I'm not, but what's great? The fact that I still can sleep in, the fact that I do get to spend time with my soon to be stepson. I can wake up late with Derek on the weekends. I don't have to go to work and slave at a job that I hate. So it's kind of, I know the income will come, but being comfortable and happy, God, that's priceless. I would have worked 10 times harder if I knew what it felt like to be what it felt like right now. I believe in you,
that.
Sarah.
Can we
Thank
just
you.
talk
I love
about how
that.
she's like speaking being engaged into existence? Like he's like I hope he's in the other room.
Oh, he already knows. Yeah, he knows.
He's like aware there's like a window of opportunity and it better get struck really quick. But I just like, she's like, am I soon to be stepson? And when I'm just going to speak to all the engaged people, and we're just going to surround ourselves with that. And then probably all the people that I have in their special little album on Instagram are going to be the bridesmaids. And we've got this whole next year handled. I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
If no one's told you this today, you're absolutely incredible, and what you've been able to achieve and overcome. And the fact of even the storyline of the personal life, that you are this, even though it has turned out the way, the fact that you navigated your way through that is insane. What you did as a nurse and then now doing this, incredible. And I know that we can hype ourselves up, but to hear it from somebody else who doesn't know your story, has no idea about you, I was so captivated by your energy and by what you had to say and your storyline and everything. Like, I'm cheering for you. I'm rooting for you. I cannot wait to see what else you do. Like, I think you're absolutely amazing. And thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, you're welcome, of course. I've been a big follower for a long time, so it's just like, it's really surreal to come and start talking on team calls like this. This is awesome.
No, you deserve it. This is absolutely amazing. And thank you. And anything I can do to help you, let me know.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, guys, I will see you in the morning. I mean, if this doesn't motivate the hell out of you, I like just created my graphic to drop in my team page. And I'm like, we're just going to throw my cell phone out there and just text me. And I'm just going to like want to die all night by hearing the dings. However, this is going to level up my business. And it's one of those things. You take something, you apply it, you implement it, and then you go hard on it. And guess what? If it doesn't work for me, I tried. Check it off my list, and I circle back around in 6 months and try again. That's just how this business works. Fail forward, guys. Love you guys. Go get some sleep. Go do your controlled stretch or whatever we have to do. And I will see you guys in the morning. Thanks, Michelle.
Bye.